Hello and welcome back to my channel, Life by the Moment. I'm Lisa, and if you're a returning visitor, thank you for joining us again. So today I thought it fitting to talk about a topic that I could relate to and something that is happening right now. Procrastination. Procrastination destination, is that a thing? I don't know. But today I had a lot of things to do and I procrastinated. Have you done that before? You knew you had a lot of things to do, but you just were maybe overwhelmed or just dreading the task at hand. So you just put it off and put it off and put it off. Even if it was important, you put the task off. Well, the thing is, excuse me with my notes here, procrastination sometimes is the missing reward that we feel when we accomplish the task at hand, the things that we are putting off, the things that we are not doing. A few examples are exercise, housework, business calls, shopping, reading, maybe cleaning out an area of your house that is a daunting task like a basement or a garage. With those things, there are rewards when you accomplish the tasks, right? So, example, if you exercise, you build a strong body and it's relieving of mental stress. I know that when I exercise, if I'm really stressed or overwhelmed, sometimes I can relieve some of that tension or stress. Actually, even body aches and pains and things of that nature can be relieved by just stretching your body and moving it, right? Housework. Who likes housework, right? Very few people like housework. But same thing, when you're organized, when your home is organized and less chaotic, I know for me, when the sink is empty and there's no dishes in the sink, I just like cleanness and organization. It's something about that that makes things more organized in your mind, right? Business calls. What do you accomplish from business calls? Well, sometimes you achieve results. Sometimes it takes a little longer. But if you push yourself, usually you feel relieved that you got through it and you just did it, right? Shopping. I know some people enjoy shopping, but there are shopping and chores that you don't like to do. Like, I particularly am not fond of grocery shopping. I do it because we need to, but it's kind of a little bit of dread. And I don't know if you've tried those online shopping orders, which are really neat. I should really get more involved in that. But I also find that task kind of draining. I feel like it takes me so long to put the order in. I could have already driven to the store and done the shopping myself. Do you feel that way sometimes? Well, the benefit to doing the shopping is we tend to spend less money eating out and we save money from eating in, and then we get the benefit of delicious, probably more nutritious meals. So that's another one. Reading. And I generally like to read, but there are things that we might not like to read. But if you set the time apart to do the reading, if it's something you enjoy, it's a little bit of self-care. Reading is good for your mind. And just reading in itself is very stimulating, I think. Like I said, cleaning out a garage, cleaning out a basement, it's an overwhelming task. But if we do it, we might reap the benefits. Maybe we have some lost treasures, or maybe they would be treasures to someone else. And we could take those items and sell them, Facebook Marketplace, or have a yard sale, something of that nature. And you would benefit from those funds and having a very clean space to work with. I know that's something that we're going to have to do in the very near future, is clean out our basement. We've been here for over 20 years and have raised 4 children, so we have lots of basement stuff to get rid of. donate trash and whatnot. So, how do we do this? How do we eliminate the stress and the overwhelm and the procrastination? Well, sometimes it's not easy and you just got to muster up the energy and just do it, right? I like to think beforehand. Even before I get out of bed, I tend to think about what my day is going to look like and what is on my agenda. A good way to do it is to break down your tasks into smaller bites. Think of it like a pie. You would cut the pie into portions, right? So take a small piece of the pie and work on that. Like I said, do the dishes, wipe down the counters. That's a small task you can do. You just make it a little bit more manageable and less overwhelming. If you're somebody like me, sometimes looking at a big mess is very overwhelming to the point it can almost make you freeze. Have you ever felt that way where you had so many tasks to do, you were just like overwhelmed and you felt like almost like a deer in the headlights? How can I do all this? I can't do all this. And that stress is not good for you. But I have learned over time that if we just break things down into smaller bits and try and focus on one small task, then you eventually get more and more going. Another tip I learned from a friend was she likes to do, say, 10 minutes of a particular task and then do 10 minutes of something she needs to for herself. Maybe it's having a cup of tea or just sit for a minute and regroup. I don't know, maybe that'll work for you. Have you tried that? Or maybe you have some tips. So, setting a goal, an example, I'll pull a few of the examples I mentioned, like exercise. Maybe for you to work out or go to a gym or exercise for an hour or more is just way too high of a bar for you to set right now. Start small. Do 10 minutes of stretching. Do 20 minutes of physical exercise. See how that works for you and eventually build up your endurance and you'll be able to do longer. Go for a walk. Calls. I like to do my calls first thing after I've woken up my brain a little bit, maybe had some tea, or maybe you like coffee, or you need to have a little something to eat. But do that task as soon as possible, especially when the business calls. You know how business hours are. You can only reach people for, a limited time, and then they themselves go on lunch. Maybe that way, set a goal of making 2 calls shortly after breakfast, and if you have more calls to make, have your lunch and then make your last calls. I don't know, something like that maybe will work for you. Reading. If you have something you have to read that's really important, maybe you're a college student, maybe you maybe you just want to read something to educate yourself. Maybe, like me, you want to get into the Word. So set a small goal, a chapter a day. Pick a time of day where you can just be quiet and still and think about whatever you're reading. And if you're reading for enjoyment, that also is good for your mental well-being, right? Cleaning, I kind of already mentioned, to break that up into small bits like the pie and just do a little bit and see how it goes. I also found years ago when I was raising children, what I would tend to do is start cleaning a room, and then I would be going from this room to that room, cleaning here and cleaning there. And so that way you're kind of all over the place and you're not really getting one area clean. So try to focus on the one area at a time. If there's something in your living room that belongs in a bedroom or in a children's room, or something random ends up that should be in your garage or your basement, just try and put that aside for now and finish the task at hand, because that's really important. I know some people use baskets and things for that type of thing. My house is very small. I don't have a lot of steps to go, so I don't do that. But I'm sure you can find many more tips like that along the way. The thing I want to mention is I want to reiterate the reward for the task that's accomplished, right? Maybe you can incentivize yourself. So if you clean out a closet, what would be an incentive there, a good incentive? Well, if I have a whole bunch of clothes that I haven't worn for years in the back of my closet, why not turn it into a potential money-making situation? Maybe you can post your clothes on the marketplace, or again, a yard sale, or maybe you have a local consignment store. A lot of times consignment stores are good because you can consign your clothes there, and if you really enjoy the store itself, the credit or the cash or however they do it that you earn, you can then reinvest and buy something that you like, or something that you need or that you need to replace, right? You can also donate clothes to those in need, and I know that's a heartwarming feeling when you can help people in need. I've done that plenty of times. I've gone through our basement and other areas of the house, and if you haven't touched it in more than a year, chances are you probably don't need it, right? So I would take the opportunity to either donate it, sell it, or throw it away. Now, we don't want to just throw away things randomly. A lot of times we have useful things. If it's not useful to us, it's useful to others. But in the situation of like clothes and things, let's not donate things that are full of holes and worn out and really aren't worthy of much but rags. But we can consider things carefully and decide what is good for going in the trash and what we could donate or what we could benefit by making money off of. And it cleans up our space. It simplifies our life, and it makes, in my mind, less clutter is less clutter in my brain, you know? And when you go shopping, I mentioned food shopping, you know, that's a thing. If you just got to get motivated to get out there, well, maybe you can give yourself a little splurge when you go shopping. Maybe you can allow yourself one special dessert for the week, whether that's, you know, like some ice cream if you like to have ice cream, or if there's something that you have been waiting for a while to get, maybe that's the opportunity that you have to go out and shop and you can get that one item. Anyway, I hope that some of these tips help you or inspire you to get motivated, to lose procrastination, and to reap the rewards of doing things and getting things done. Because we can all get full of anxiety sometimes. We can all, I'm sure we all procrastinate something. But each time we practice not procrastinating, it builds a habit. They say you build a habit, you know, the more you do something. So if you continually do something in the weeks ahead or the months ahead, it becomes a habit, a good habit. And that's what we want to do, is build good habits, right? Sorry, I keep repeating right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this sit and chat, and I hope you'll consider checking out some of our previous videos. If you found value in this content, if it's something that inspires you or motivates you, or you can learn something from it, or if you've seen some of our entertainment type videos, we're working on that, and you think that's something you would enjoy, please consider subscribing to our channel and hit the thumbs up. Just that little thing can help me a whole lot. So if you like this video, even parts of it, maybe you just like it and you're not really ready to subscribe, that's fine too. I know we're still a growing channel, and we appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you back on the next one. Until then, be blessed, be kind, and have a great day. Bye now.